conceptual portrait photographer based out of Raleigh NC. They mostly work in group photo shoots and push the limits every day with new lighting, locations, concepts, or posing. Their main focus is to help show their clients that they're beautiful the way they are and help them along their journey of self-acceptance. And I'd just like to start off by saying I absolutely love your work. Like I was looking at your photography and it just has this like really ethereal, like beautiful, delicate quality to it. And I just thought it was like super amazing. So totally take it away.
Oh my God, thank you so much. That's so cute. I still get really weird when people compliment me on things. I'm not used to it, but I'm getting better at it. So thank you. I appreciate that. So I basically just kind of wanted to start off and like tell you guys how I got into photography and where it all started for me. Cause I didn't really, it's kind of a funny story. I didn't actually like decide one day I just wanted to be a photographer and went out and got a camera. My husband and I moved in together a couple years ago, and it was the first relationship I ever lived with somebody. We were just like doing our thing and thriving, and then we got married and we moved to North Carolina because I'm originally from Michigan. And when we moved, we were packing things up, and I found a really nice camera of his, and he had never used it. It was still like suction wrapped into the box, and I was like, "Hello, why do we have this?" And he's like, "I don't know, but like," and I'm really cheap. So I was like, I'm gonna try and sell it. And then it was old and no one wanted to buy it. So I was like, well, I'm gonna try and use it. And I started using it and I fell in love with it. And I started doing a lot of nature photography and doing like landscapes and things like that. And then one of my really good friends, when I moved to Raleigh, she asked me to take pictures of her, and she's a model. And I absolutely loved it. And it was super fun and super like amazing. And she's just a gorgeous person. So she got me into like starting into doing like conceptual portraits, and it's just kind of evolved since then to be a lot more than just like fun and art, but it's also now my career and something that I do full time, and it's been really amazing. um, and now I live full time and I get to like travel and just work, which work doesn't feel like work anymore, so it's really great. um, yeah, it's really fun. There is like if there's some tips that you guys would like to know, the one of the my main one is to utilize social media. TikTok has been my main source of income for the last year. I just post my work on there and I talk to people on there, and it's been an amazing community builder and um, just a really great time. I've just been really enjoying it. But yeah, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, definitely. So how would you say you made the transition from just doing like, I guess, photography kind of like a hobby to becoming a professional photographer? So what was like the challenges of that and how'd you go about doing
Okay, yeah, so that's another thing. So like I kind of went full time in photography at the start of coronavirus and COVID and everything happening. I lost my job. I used to be a server at like a little cute Mexican restaurant. And I worked there part time and I did photography part time. And then that restaurant closed due to COVID. And so I was like, okay, well, it's now is any time. It's the best time I can do it. So I just started working, and like I said, utilizing social media was the biggest thing for me. Without Instagram and TikTok, I would not have been able to do it. I started posting on Instagram and talking like about my work and showcasing everything, and just being very vocal about the fact that I am now full time. Like people come book me because like if you don't, I'm gonna die. um, and I have really great friends, and I had built a very nice community and a bunch of people who love to support me and be nice to me, and it's been great. Um, oh my God, I'm so late. Hi, Michael. Hello. So yeah, it's been great. It's been um, really challenging, but very rewarding at the same time to push myself and to support, like, let myself be supported by a community that is there for me, and just like kind of let go. And it's kind of, it gives me anxiety, but at the same time, it's really, really amazing and rewarding. And so, um, just like the community is so loving here, and it's been really great.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like as a photographer, like having that solid base of people that want to like support you and like have you as like take pictures of them is super important. Another question that I had was, how do you approach like your photography? Is there a method you do, especially when it comes to like conceptual type of photography? Like, how do you get that idea and then like execute it, I guess?
Okay, so the beginning of me doing like concepts and things was very like, it was literally me going onto Pinterest and looking things up and literally copying it. Not like the exact same thing, but like if I saw somebody put newspaper on a wall, I just put newspaper on a wall because I wanted to try it. And slowly, after doing it full time and doing it for the last like it's been 2 years now. Um, Almost 2 years. Yeah, my brain just starts to work in that way now, where I've always been very artistic, but it's like, you have to practice. And the more you practice, the more you start to come up with your own ideas and you start to think of new things. And one thing that's important to note too is that almost every idea in photography and modeling and in that industry has been done before. It's just a way of you doing it in your own style. So to make sure that you just make it your own and do your own thing and maybe add another element or change, like if you see something on Pinterest you really like, or on Instagram or on TikTok, make sure you tag that content creator for inspiration, but also like try and make your own. Try not to just completely take everything from them and do everything that they did. So I try to add a new location, or maybe I'll do like multiple models instead of just one, or I'll add another prop or other elements in and try to just change it enough that it seems like a whole different concept.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like when you're an artist, like you end up taking a lot of inspiration from other artists around you and like really kind of incorporate their ideas. Um,
Mhm.
so being a photographer and like utilizing social media, how would you say like you like in take I know like TikTok is different from Instagram. So how do you like cater to the different audiences you have on different platforms?
Okay, yeah. So that's a really good question. Like, so TikTok to me is really fun because it's not as curated, I would say. So like Instagram is very specific. They want you to post once a day. They want it to be the same time of day. They want it to be a curated post that you have prepared, and it looks like they want you to be consistent with with everything. So with Instagram, it's very like I
What are
try to
you even doing?
I try to keep my quality and my concepts and everything new and fresh and up there, posting once a day, and then being active on commenting back and commenting to other people and sharing other people's work and just being active on there for a couple hours a day. And then TikTok is very much like they just want you to post a bunch. They're just like post, 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 like keep going. So I try to post like 6 videos a day on TikTok, and I call it shit posting because I will just get on there and I'll just start like making videos to trending sounds and just like lip syncing to things and making it about photography, even if it's not. And just kind of making it work for me. Um, and it's been working really well. TikTok is literally my favorite app ever. People are so nice on there, and like it's just been super great, and the community on TikTok is so fun. But yeah, just trying to like, I've done a lot of research on social media marketing and things like that, and so understanding the difference between each social media and what that takes and what that social media specifically wants to help you grow, and trying to be that for them, because without them I don't have a job. So you gotta abide by the rules.
Definitely. I just feel like TikTok is such a great way to like reach so many people. And I kind of feel like it's a little bit more popular than Instagram. I don't know, kind of my opinion, but I feel like a lot of people are way more interactive on there too.
Yeah.
Um, and then another question I had was, so as a photographer, I feel like it's kind of hard to develop a specific style. I feel like I don't know if that was like the experience for you, but I've like seen a couple of photographers on Instagram or like people that are just starting out, and it just seems like their editing and everything's like pretty. It's not like super consistent. So how would you say you like created a style and like curated that?
Um, so that's another thing is like it was really hard because if you scroll back on my feed, it's very all over the place. I've really put a lot of effort and time and just like I've just put so much into it and tried to really curate like so for editing wise, like I've created my own presets, so my own editing style that makes it consistent. I have a few different presets, but they're all very similar and they just give a little bit different feel. And trying to use those presets on every post to make sure that everything is consistent. Also, like stylistically with like posing, I have taken a lot of like fashion has been really inspirational to me. Like I really like weird posing, but weird but also elegant. So like something you wouldn't normally like having people stand in a way they would normally stand. So it catches your eye, but it still is something that's pretty to look at, and things like that. And trying to get trying to catch your eye but making it pretty. Also, like I really like for like framing and shooting wise, I really like things to look cinematic, so I like to get really big shots far away to start out with, and then trying to tell a story. So like I do a lot of shoots with women in like big ball gowns. That's been something that people book me a lot for. And so trying to tell a story so it's not just like, oh, a girl in the woods in a dress, done. Like trying to make it cute, like maybe have her take her shoes off and carry her shoes so that it looks like she's been walking and her feet got sore, and like just like cute things like that, giving extra props to make it fit the storyline. Because what people evidently want to see in photography is like stories. They want to see stories told in a like picturesque, gorgeous way. And so trying to make your photos and your photo shoots look like a story in 10 photos or less. um, it's been hard, but it's been a really great challenge. And that's part of the reason why I love photography and I'm so fulfilled doing it full time is like every time I get someone else booking me, it's a new challenge. Or like I've had people book me and say like, I've been really depressed recently and I want to portray that in a photo shoot because I'm starting to come out of that depressive episode, but I want to remember where I was so that when I get out of this, I can look back and be proud of myself. And so things like that is like, how do I portray emotion through that? Um, it's been really fun. It's been really hard and challenging, but it's very fulfilling. It's awesome.
Definitely. And you're kind of talking about how like you have a lot of clientele and then they'll give you requests to shoot. So I was kind of wondering, how is it different shooting for a client and then kind of, I guess, like shooting for yourself in like the photography like you have without necessarily like it being a commission piece?
I've been really, really lucky to be able to say that the last 3 months I haven't done any work that wasn't paid. I've been really lucky to be booked by people like musicians. I've done a lot of album covers. I've done a lot of just work for creative people. I've done book covers. I've done a lot of models will book me when they're looking for new like portraits to put in their portfolios. And so a lot of the time it's people coming to me and saying, I don't know what I want, but I want to be a part of a project that's really creative. And so that really helps me like get my creativity out. So I'm not doing everybody else's like because a lot of the photo shoots I do are just like people coming and saying, oh, I want to shoot in a big dress in the woods and that's what I want to do. And so it's like, okay, I've done it before. It's not as creatively stimulating for me, but there are a lot of my clients who are like, hello, like I want to do what you want to do because I know you're going to make it really pretty. So that keeps me creatively going. I've also been doing this thing recently where I put on my Instagram story, I post photos that have been inspiring me. And I'm like, who wants to shoot something similar to this, inspired by this? And I have really amazing clients who will say, I trust your eye, I trust your vision, I want to do something like this. And like they book me for that. And so it's been great. That's how I've been like keeping my creativity going through always being booked and working for other people while also keeping myself happy.
Wow, that sounds amazing. That seems like such a unique thing that you can get out of like being self-employed. So there's a question in the chat from Ankit, and he was asking any tips for those people who can't afford a camera but are still interested in photography, and what can they do to get results similar to a professional? And he said, I usually take pics from my phone, as well as what editing softwares do you use?
Okay, so people who can't afford a camera but want to get like a full price, buy a brand new camera, I get it. My camera was a couple $1,000s. Like it's a lot of money. So um people who can't afford a camera, there most camera shops will rent out cameras for the day, and it's usually around $50. It's super cheap. They'll give you the lens, they'll give you everything you need to do. And then the editing software that I use is Lightroom Classic. It's that one is a paid app, but before that I used Lightroom Creative Cloud, and that is free. You can download that on your phone, you can download it on your laptop. It's free to use. And if you wanted to get like more professional images, you could go rent a camera, take pictures for the day, and then take it back. And even on your iPhone, if you have an iPhone, the iPhone camera is really nice. It's obviously not going to be as crisp or clear or as nice as like a professional camera would be, but you can still get really good images. Try to really take your time framing it well, and try to make some depth in the photo. So like take pictures through something, like through plants or like through a window, so that there's like a little bit of shine. It makes it look like a little bit more interesting. It gives it some depth instead of just being like a flat image. And then when editing, for me personally, I try to stay away from really bright, overwhelming colors. Like you can shoot someone in a bright cherry red dress, but in editing, I will mute that red a little bit because it's just a little overpowering, and I want the image overall to be like a little muted but still interesting. So I just try not to make anything in the image itself stand out more than anything else. So keeping it cohesive is like coloring is part of keeping it cohesive, because you don't want one specific thing over in the corner to be like super bright and everything else be muted. So like try to keep everything the similar tones, and yeah.
So we have another question in the chat. Celestine asked, what is the time breakdown for your whole photography process, client booking all the way to edit?
Okay, so like um so basically like I have been booking people like around a month out. I'm booked into September right now, partway through September. So right now, if you book me, it will be in September. I do keep like a couple days open a week, just in case someone says, hey, I need pictures by next week. I keep a few days open so I can say, okay, I have this day. But for like a normal project, you book me anywhere from 2 weeks out to a month out. We come up with a concept, we talk about it, we come up with like our location and our vibe. And then when we shoot, the shoot usually lasts around an hour. I'm really fast and like exciting during shoots. Like I'm really excited. So I kind of like run around and like I'm always afraid I'm going to overwhelm people, but they always just say, I'm like, no, you're like so much fun. So that's good. So the shoot usually lasts around an hour, and then I usually get really excited about the pictures. So I come straight home and I export them and I edit them immediately because I'm really excited. And I usually send the photos either the same day we took the picture or the next day. Just because I'm so excited. I can't wait to edit them. And then also I want to post them because I'm like, oh my God, look how cute this is. Like everyone has to look at it. Um, so the actual shoot and me sending you the photos is like anywhere from 2 to 3 days. And then the time you book me to when we shoot is usually around like 3 weeks to a month.
Celestine said, oh my gosh, Michael, that's so insane. If you want to take a look at the chat.
It takes me a good 4 hours to call through and edit. Yeah, girl, I get really excited. I also have ADHD, so I am so fast. Like you have no idea. Like I just go so quickly. I want to do a photo shoot with you. Too bad you're I'm in North Carolina. I'm in New York in a week, so maybe then. Girl, I wish I was in New Jersey. I'm not. I'm in North Carolina. Lightroom, yes, Lightroom CC. Any software for Androids? Girl, I do not know. I have an iPhone. I've always had Apple. I wish I could tell you. How do you deal with being in North Carolina? Girl, it's good. I stay in Raleigh. Like as a gay person, it's not always super comfortable going out into like different parts of North Carolina because there is a lot of like really secluded areas where there are very like kind of sketchy places for you to be if you're not a cis white straight person. So I try not to go to those places. But in Raleigh and in like the triangle where I live, it's so amazing. And like the town's like, I go to the mountains a lot, and my grandparents, who are lesbians, they live in Asheville, and Asheville's amazing. So I just try to stay in bigger cities, and like it actually really hasn't been too big of an issue for me. Oh my God, you guys are so cute. There's so much going on. Any, how do you figure out pricing and what do you charge, and do you have to supply the props? So my pricing has been, so like, I guess it's all about how much you have put into it and how good you are. And it's all about supply and demand as well. So recently I have gotten a lot more, I've had a couple viral TikTok videos, which has given me a lot more clientele. So my pricing has gone up a little bit because of the fact that I'm in more demand and there's more people talking to me and more people booking me. But if there's not a lot of demand for you, but you still want to get booked at some point and like you still deserve to be paid. I started out at $75 a shoot. And that was just to cover like my gas, my time, and my camera and things like that. And that's a really good base price, $50 to $75. And just try to, when your demand starts to come up a little bit more, that's when you start to raise your prices. So that's how I decide where my pricing is like the supply and the demand. So yeah. Maybe can we shoot? Girl, yes. The link to book me is in my Instagram. Are you a photographer? Oh my God. Yes, I am. Cute. So yeah, it's been fun. It's been crazy.
Yeah, so we have like a couple of your pictures up on the screen. So if you kind of want, you can like talk to us about your concepts and like how you executed these and if there's anything like notable about them.
Okay, cute. Okay, so this picture with the four girls like kind of like sitting and hugging each other. That was my first ever group photo shoot. I got inspired by a Vogue ad that I saw of multiple models posing in like weird ways. And I was like, oh my God, that looks so fun. I want to try that. So all these girls in this picture, so the girl all the way to the left, the one in the front, her name is Chandler. She's like my best friend. I love her so much. So I just like contacted a bunch of my friends and things. And I was like, you guys, we have to do this. This looks so fun. And we just went to an art museum and I was like, okay, we're just gonna try really weird poses. I don't know how it's gonna go. We're gonna figure it out as we do it. And we did it and it turned out really cool. It's one of my most popular shoots. People really like that one. Um, and that one is really memorable for me because it was like my main thing now is I shoot girls in big dresses and then I do these things called friendship shoots, which is like I have best friends or like groups of best friends book me because they want pictures together, which I think is so special because I love like there's not really a lot of like time and energy in like society that they give to best friends. It's more just like, okay, like at least for me, from what I've seen, a lot of the energy goes to like couples photos or like portraits of yourself, and that's it. And I think it's really important to document like your best friends and the people that you spend time with because you're not going to always have them or you're not always going to be around them, and like documenting that time and documenting how you look and who you are at that time is really special. So that was my first ever like friendship shoot, and people started booking me with their like groups of best friends, and we all come up with a concept together and shoot together. So that one is like really nice. I loved that one. That was one of my favorites. The one with the train is also really special to me. That one was just like really fun. I love shooting with like models in really weird places. So we booked, like we paid to get underneath into like the subway station in Atlanta. It's called the MARTA. And we just walked around and she had this huge dress on and like we couldn't go up and down escalators because her dress would get stuck. But it was really fun and it was a really great time. And we were down there for like an hour and a half because we got lost. And it was just like a really good memory. It was really fun. Um, let's see if there's any more over here. What's your Insta? I'ma follow you. It's Michael _ Betzner, which is Betzner photography. I'm just gonna type it into the chat again so you can see it. Yeah, it's really fun. I love it. This photo of the girl floating on the mattress, that was a really great idea. I got from my friend Nicholas. He did a couple session with some people on a mattress, and they were like kind of in a lake, but not really. They were like next to the lake, and I was like, bro, it's an air mattress, it floats, you should have pushed them out. And I was like, do you care if I take this concept and like play with it a little bit? And he was like, yeah, live your life. So I got an air mattress, and I told my friend, I was like, you might die and you might fall off, but it's worth it and it's gonna be fun. And I went to a dock and I blew up the air mattress and I set it in the water. I covered it in blankets. I threw her on and I pushed her off. And we got a bunch of pictures of her just like floating out in the lake. And that was so fun. And that's one of my most popular photo shoots now. People book me for that all the time. I have one of those later today, actually. um, it's just really fun and it's exciting. I've done maternity sessions on that mattress. I've done couple sessions. I've done that mattress has seen some stuff, y'all. It is floated so far. I'm gonna ask this again because it got buried. When are you gonna collab with Anna? Anna White Photography. Girl, good question. She lives in Ohio, so not anytime soon. I hope soon though, because I love her. Um, mm, 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 mm. Oh, that's so cute. You guys are all so fun and nice. How do you figure out pricing? How did you find a community in your area? So I kind of created one because the one that was here was like a tad bit toxic. And I was like, that's not cute. So we're going to just move on. And I started doing these things called photographer model meetups, which they were a thing before, but it was very like, people made it seem like it was super like, only the people who were really talented could go, and the people who were like newer weren't allowed to go because they weren't good enough. And I thought that was really stupid. And like the whole point of like photography and having a community is so that they can help you out and help you grow and help you learn. And so I was like, okay, this is rude, I'm going to go make my own. So I started doing photography model meetups. So what I would do is just like send out DMs to new like models and photographers in the area, and I would say, hey, on this day we're all going to meet up and we're going to shoot, um, and this is like the theme we're going to do. So one time I did a theme of like vintage clothes, so like a bunch of people wore like 70s outfits, and we shot with a Beetle, and like a 1960s Beetle. It was really cute. And I just started like meeting people through that. And then I got really overwhelmed because the meetups became really big and like 100 people would come at a time, and I just couldn't do it anymore. So I was like, you guys can keep doing them, but I can't organize them anymore because I'm overwhelmed. um, and I did those for about a year. And then I was like, yeah, no, this is too much work for me. I'm tired. um, let's see. Out of all the brands of cameras, which one do you think is the best? I have a Nikon. I don't think it's the best. I don't think it's the worst. I don't have an opinion on the other ones because I haven't used them. But personally, for me, I like my Nikon. I would suggest if you're looking to get a camera, I would get a mirrorless camera. They have cameras, they're called DSLRs or mirrorless. Do the mirrorless one because that's the newest version. It's the fastest version. It's the lightest, and like just like everything comes out looking way better with those. And all the camera companies are starting to switch over to that. So I would highly recommend that. Yeah, it's cute. Canon is also a good option if you have a good budget. If you have a good budget, then yes. Okay, so they are all very expensive. So when you are looking to buy a new camera, don't do the cheap option. Just buy a nice camera because it's worth it. It's gonna be way better for you.
Definitely. So I have another question. So how did you go about like learning how to do photography? Was there any resources or like people that you talked to? Like how'd you learn as a
Yeah,
beginner?
yeah. So I started out just like watching YouTube videos. I watched this girl named Jessica Kobasi. She's this really cute. I don't know what she is. I think she's just adorable. I love her. She does fashion photography. She taught me through YouTube. I don't actually personally know her, but I act like I do. I'm like, oh yeah, my friend Jessica. She taught me a lot of stuff by watching her videos. Whoever just sent my website, girl, thank you. Trisha, you are a baddie and I appreciate you. I watched YouTube videos. I watched Marina W Photo on Instagram. She just started like last year really digging into like educational stuff. She is super, super like amazing with that. So like if you are new, um, just like she has so much information. Her website is, yes, Made to Make. Yeah, someone knows about it. She has this thing called Made to Make. It's a Patreon. It's, I don't even know how much it is. I think it's like 10 bucks a month or something like that. And she puts out videos every week, and it's just like new training videos and new things that you can try and things that you need to know as a photographer. Um, and I love her. She's amazing. I got to shoot with her last year at one point, and now we like talk and we text and we're friends. It's really cute. I love her. But she's super great. She's super educational. I'm starting to get into more educational videos as well. It's just like really hard, and it takes a lot of like energy and time. And I also hate my own voice. So when I like record myself and then I have to edit myself, I'm like, ew, no, I have to go. And so eventually I'll get over that. Are you gonna come to ColourPop? No, I didn't. I don't want to say I didn't want to go, but I didn't want to go. I am actually going to be in Atlanta at that time. So it was either going to Atlanta for a different photography trip that I had already booked or going to that. So I decided not to. Can you share the two names? The two names of the educational people? Yes. So I'll just type them out because they're really, so Marina W Photo on Instagram, and then Jessica Kobasi is the one on YouTube. They're both really great. They're very educational. They will help you with anything and everything. Um, there's also more people on YouTube that you can watch, but those are the main two that I learned from.
So you kind of talked about reaching out to people. So how would you suggest like people that are just starting out with photography or people that want to learn, like how could they like reach out to professionals or other people to like give them advice, I guess, or like
So
create a community?
yeah. So like creating a community wise, I just reached out to people and I was like, it's easy for me because I'm just very sociable. I really like talking to people and I love to talk and I just like people. So I just reached out to people and I'd be like, hey girl, like, do you want to shoot sometime? You're really cute. Let's make it happen. And we would like shoot and then we'd become friends and then they would introduce me to more people and I would introduce them to my people and it would just grow from there. Reaching out to people who are like going to teach you things or people you want information from. I would definitely say if you're going to reach out to people for educational purposes, definitely be ready to pay some money. Because people who have, like, I offer mentoring sessions. It's like going through like all the work that you put into your craft. You didn't get that for free and you're not going to give it away for free because it's a lot of work, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort. So if you're reaching out to somebody and you're like, hey, tell me about this thing, teach me about this thing, expect to be charged for it, but also that's very common. I've actually never seen anyone give anything away for free. But just be very respectful to people because people charge what they're worth, they charge what their rate, and don't be sassy to them because there's a lot of people in the community who get like, people just get mad when you won't teach them things for free. So like, try to be patient with people, charge your worth and pay what you, like the people you're reaching out to, pay what they ask because that's their worth and that's what they have been through. Definitely, like, I would say reach out to people. Like, that's how I met Marina. Was I booked her for a mentoring session and we got to shoot together and it was great and I paid her rate and she was amazing and she taught me so many things. Yeah, it was amazing. I would just say respect people. If they don't answer, especially for me, like a lot of the really big photographers that I reach out to, they don't answer because they have hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram or Twitter. But don't get discouraged by that. They're not ignoring you. They're just overwhelmed and busy. So just, remember, like, keep trying, keep learning, live your life, do what you can, grow in as many ways as you can, and don't give up.
Yeah, definitely. And then we also have a slide here of like some other of your photos. So like if you want, you can talk about them.
Okay, yeah. So some of these have really fun stories. So the girl all the way on the right with the earring, that was an earring brand shoot that I did a couple months ago, and that's one of my really good friends. Her name is Tori. I love her. She's amazing. The girl all the way to the left in that big poofy dress, love her so much. Her name is Jackie. She lives in Utah. I travel back and forth from Salt Lake City to Raleigh quite often to the point where I put it in my Instagram bio. I was like, I'm in Utah and I'm in North Carolina, just like wherever I am at the time, figure it out. And I got to shoot with her. My friend who owns a gown company, she gave me that gown when she heard I was going to Utah, and she was like, please. And she hired me and she was like, go take pictures of this gown. So I got to go shoot in that gown, and that was really fun. The girl with the balloons all around her, I love her. Her name's Lucy. The original plan for this photo shoot was we were going to have her sitting in all the balloons, and then she was going to have like this big snake, and she was going to be holding the snake and like taking pictures. The snake bit her, and then we had to like get the snake handler to take it off. And then I was like, okay, do you want to stop? And she was like, no, it's fine. Like, it's chill. And we did the shoot. We finished the shoot and she was fine. She was like, whatever, like edit the blood out. And I'm like, I'm scared. And she just did it anyway. She was a baddie. Yeah, it's fun. Also, that one above the balloon one, that is my friend Willow. We shot that in like a, what is it called? Like a junkyard. We just went to a junkyard and they charged us $1 to get in, and then we just like walked around on top of all the cars and things. And like that is one thing too. It's like one of my favorite things ever is shooting weird locations. So taking a location like a junkyard and then just like putting a really cute model in there is like, it's weird, and I want to do that. So try that if you're like looking for something, like if you're feeling uninspired, just go somewhere weird and be like, this is the place. Anything for fashion, period. You guys are all so cute and nice. Oh my God. Could you talk about some of the equipment you use? Yeah. So I use a Nikon Z7. I can show it to you. It's right next to me. And my main lens that I use is a 35 millimeter. So this is my camera. It's my child. She's like my best friend. She's very dusty right now because I went to the salt flats when I was in Utah and my hand got covered in salt, and then I was holding it. And so it's kind of white and dusty looking, but she's cute. I promise I take care of her. Her name is Gina. And I use the 35 millimeter most of the time. I also use a 50 millimeter. I'm going to buy a 24-70 lens coming up here pretty soon. Also, everybody always asks about where I get my gowns. They're all from Amazon. They're like super fabulous. They take like a month and a half to get here, but then once you get them, they're great. I throw people in rivers and like they last. So Gina, yes. Oh my God, you guys are all so cute. I'm gonna go up farther and see if there's any other questions. Do you have anything?
Yeah, this is just like something I'm just curious about after hearing that snake story. What's like the craziest story you've had when it comes like shooting or like a shoot?
Okay, so I have a couple. So there's that one with the snake. That one was terrifying. I literally was like, I left the shoot and I was like, I just need to sit in my car for like 10 minutes and decompress after that because wow. Another one, one time I did a lingerie shoot. This girl books me for a lingerie session and I'm like, period, we're gonna do it. It's gonna be cute, whatever. At the time, the only studio space I had was my own house. So like what I would do is like set up my backdrops and everything. And then I would blow up my air mattress and I would set it up all cute. And we would just do pictures on the air mattress. And it was like, it was a thing. I had done it multiple times. Nothing ever went wrong. So this girl books me. She's like, okay, I want to do implied nudity. I don't actually want to be naked, but I want to like look naked. And I'm like, cool, we can do that, whatever. So she comes in and she's like, gets undressed and like completely undressed. And I was like, okay, not what I was expecting, but whatever, whatever, live your life. I wasn't too fazed by it. And I started taking pictures of her and she brought her boyfriend and her boyfriend's like sitting in the corner living his life. And we got like part of the way through the photo shoot. And then the boyfriend gets up and goes in the bathroom. And then he comes out and he is completely naked. And they started having sex in front of me. Like they just started having sex. And I was like, okay, cute. So I had to be like, okay, guys, stop, please leave. And then they left. And then they yelled at me because they were like, I can't believe you made us stop. You need to give us our money back. And I was like, no. I was like, girl, you need to pay for my therapy is what you need to do. But we made it. And it was really not cute, but I had a viral TikTok because of it. So all is well. What insurance do you I don't have insurance, but I do write into my contracts that if someone gets hurt or dies during a photo shoot, it's not my fault, and that they sign away. It's like a waiver they sign away of like if you get hurt or if you fall or if you die in any way, like that's not on me. So I don't have insurance. I'm actually looking into that. Like recently, I've been looking into that, but
Yeah, so this is all I have for you. I'm just gonna hand it over to Trisha, and I think she has a couple of questions.
hi, Queen.
Hey, wow, I was laughing. And I'm like completely awake now. I was so tired this morning. But like you fixed it, just your energy, and all of these crazy stories. So thank you for that. So we do have a couple of, youth photographers here. So I wanted to ask a couple questions about like your process, kind of tips that you think would help maybe young photographers who are trying to get started, things like that.
Okay. So like just like advice for new photographers trying to get started. Let's see. I would say so like a lot of the time if you're trying to do like figure out what type of photography you want to do. Like if you want to do portraits or landscape or families or couples or anything like that, try to figure that out early on. Try and do a couple different shoots for free and just figure out where you want to go. I started out with landscape, like I said, and then moved to doing like more like fashion and conceptual portraits and things. And then once you figure out what you want to do, start doing free work, because to be honest, you're just not going to be good at first. Like your photos are not going to be cute. No one's going to want to pay you for them. So do a lot of collaborations, ask people to shoot for free, be like, hey, I'll give you the photos for free if you just like come and show up, and like just figure out your settings, really focus on getting like the clearest image and like your style, and focus on like following people on Instagram and researching and studying their work and studying what you like about their work so that you can replicate that or make it into your own style. So like for me, I really love Marina W. Photo on Instagram. I love her pictures, and my editing style is similar to hers because I like her editing. It's very different, but it's also similar. Like just creating things that are like what you see and what you enjoy about an editing style, take that and then make it your own. So yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, those are great tips. I think we got a question saying, what software do you use? I don't know if you talked about that before, but
Yeah, I use Lightroom Classic, and that's what I use for editing. For like my computer, I don't know, I have a Mac, so whatever the Mac has.
okay, cool. So hopefully that answers Celestine's question. And then I wanted to ask about kind of like your journey with photography. How did you like improve and just stick with it? And did you face any kind of obstacles in the way? And kind of how did you overcome them if you did?
So luckily for me, I haven't had too many obstacles. Like socially, I haven't really had any obstacles. I've had obstacles within myself of like feeling like, oh my God, I'm never gonna get better and I'm never gonna get like to a place where I'm happy with my work. So like, why am I even trying? And just like like keep good people around you, keep people who enjoy you and want to see you succeed around you. Cause like my husband was amazing support system during that time. And he was so like when I was feeling really discouraged, he really helped me and like would talk me through my emotions and keep me going and like try to keep a good community around you and try not to be too hard on yourself because everybody is like everyone's going through something. Everybody like you have to fail to learn. So keeping that in mind is like you're gonna fail. Sometimes there's gonna be photo shoots that you don't like anything that came out of it and it wasn't fun and you didn't enjoy it at all and you don't like it, but that's part of growing and part of getting to the place where you can say, okay, every photo shoot I do, I like, so try to take even bad experiences and learn from them. Try to look at the bad experiences and say, okay, what can I take away from this besides the fact that I didn't like it.
Yeah, that's some amazing advice. And I think that can apply to so many other things, not just photography. And that's something really awesome to take away. And then for diversifying kind of your work, where do you get your ideas from? Like I saw the gown and the earring. Do you do any other sorts of work? Because the earring was probably an earring company, right? So kind of how'd you get into that? And do you do other things like that as well?
Yeah, so I work for gown companies. I work for earring, like jewelry companies. I work for this plastic surgeon. I do a lot of things. It's just kind of like you start to build a community and you start to grow on social media. And when you do that, people find you and they like your work, so they book you. So, like, I work for this place called Body Lace, and they do like lip injections and Botox and things like that. And I go in and I take pictures of that for them. Like, I take before and afters, and I take like pictures of people getting facials and things like that. And it was just because one of the girls who works there, she was the like social media manager, found me on Instagram and was like, "Oh, I want you to do this thing." And that was another thing. That's another piece of advice I can give is like, when you get booked for things that you've never done, do them, even if it's scary, because it will help you grow. And so like the first time I ever shot for them, I underpriced a lot because I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I've never done anything like this. I've never shot in this lighting. I've never taken pictures of somebody getting their lips filled. I've never like, it was a big thing for me. And then I did it and I was really surprised and happy with the outcome. So to just be open to new experiences, trust yourself, you can do it. Just try to remain calm and like get through the things. Networking is a huge thing because I think that was like your original question. Like networking is all on social media for me. And then also try not to burn any bridges, try to be really understanding and kind to people, even if they're not understanding and kind to you, because if you if you do anything that can be perceived as spiteful or rude, it can come back to bite you in the butt. So just be really nice, be very kind, be respectful and patient, even if you don't want to be. um, and try to keep as many friends and people that you enjoy in the community around you. How do
For
I manage?
sure.
How do I manage so many different clients? Girl, I have this thing called Honeybook, and that's how people book me, and it keeps everything organized for me. I have an app on my phone. When I book somebody and we pick a date, it puts it in my calendar for me. Everything's already set to go. So I definitely recommend that. Yes, someone said Honeybook, period. Are there any common mistakes you see people do during editing? I mean, there really are no mistakes. It's just stylistically, whatever you want to do. For me personally, I don't want things to look super harsh. I want them to kind of look a little muted and soft. And I see a lot of people take the contrast and turn it way up, and then take the like saturation and turn it way up, and it's like super bright and very like it's hard to look at. So try, when you look at an image and you edit an image, walk away from it for a few hours and then come back and look at it again, because that will help you reevaluate. Like, try to, when you look at a picture, try to be consciously aware of whatever you feel immediately after you look at it, because that's what's going to happen on Instagram. People subconsciously look at your photo, and whatever they feel is how they're going to react. So if they look at your photo and they're like, this editing is really harsh and bright and it's like overwhelming, they're going to scroll past it. But if they look at it and they're like, oh, okay, this is really soft and warm and pretty and I really enjoy this, they're going to stop and take a second to like it or comment on it or even share it. And so try to, like, when you're first learning how to edit a photo, walk away and come back so that you can get a new outlook on it with a new set of eyes. When you increase your prices, how do the clients respond, and how do you respond when they get negative? So I've never had anybody get negative with me, really. I don't increase them by a lot. I usually increase them by like $50. So like by like $50 an hour. And most people, like, sometimes I'll put on my story like, okay, my prices are increasing next week. So if you want to book me before then, do it after that. These are my prices. And so everybody that follows me and my clients that are watching my stories are like aware of my life. The people who would actually like comprehend that the price has changed, those people are usually aware of the fact that it's changing and they won't get mad or upset or anything. And then the people who aren't consciously aware of my life or watching my stories, they don't even realize the price has changed because they just know they want to book me. So it just kind of happens. Most people aren't super upset. And I also do give discounts to people who've been with me for a long time. So like, I have people who I've been working with for 3 years now, and I still charge them my price from 3 years ago because they've been here since the beginning and they've supported me since I wasn't where I am now, and I want to like appreciate them and show them that I appreciate them for that. So, do you have a new album coming up? No. So yeah, that's my life.
Thank you, Michael. This was like super awesome. Thanks for being so lively. It's always like a little bit hard in the morning to stay awake. And just great advice, I think, about being kind, even if you're kind of not getting that reciprocated, is so important because people remember your kindness in the long run. So really loved.
You never know what people are going through either. And like what I said in the thing is like I'm trying to help people along in their like journey of self-acceptance. A lot of the time when people are grumpy or they treat you angrily or they're upset with something, it's not because they're mad at you, it's because they're upset with something in their own life. And that has nothing to do with me. And so I just try to let people live their life. And if they're grumpy, that's fine, but don't take that negative energy on. Just like keep it going, keep being cute. So
Yeah.
well, thank you so much. This was so fun.
Yeah, it was. Someone asked about posing apps, whether you use posing apps.
So I don't use posing apps. I've been featured in a couple of them, so I've looked at them. So like there's one called like the unscripted posing app. I've looked at that one. They featured me in their Instagram and in their app, and they like messaged me and they were like, "Hey, just so you know, is it okay if we do this?" And that's when I found out that posing apps were a thing. And for me, my style doesn't really like it doesn't cooperate with the like what posing apps do. I find that posing apps are more like lifestyle posing. So like people standing and smiling or people sitting and looking cute and like couples photos and things like that. And my posing is very like it's kind of off the wall. So I don't really find anything in posing apps that I personally enjoy, but I do think it's really good for people who do couples photography often or people who do graduation sessions and things like that. It's definitely helpful if you're doing that type of photography, but I'm just not.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Michael. I think we'll wrap up now. But this was really fun. We really love your work. It's super amazing, and we can't wait to see how you grow as a photographer because you're already doing such amazing work. And I'm sure everyone here can agree with me. So we really appreciate having you here at ASF. Hope we can stay in touch. And we're going to continue following and supporting your work. So
absolutely, thank you so much. And if any of you guys have questions, you can just send them to me on Instagram. I'll try to answer everybody. This was amazing. Thank you so much for inviting me and having me do this. I was so nervous before this started because I've never done it. I've literally never used Zoom in my life. So I had to figure it out today, literally like 5 minutes before you called. I was like, oh my God, because I'm where I am, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I was like, oh my God, it's happening right now. Oh my God, okay. So yeah, thank you for having me. This was great.
yeah, of course. You did a great job, by the way. So yeah. Shreya, I'm going to hand it over to you. And thank you so much, Michael, once again. And hopefully we see you sometime in the near future, maybe with ASF or just, following your work. And yeah.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.